Better sit down.
I'm coming to the attic. Walking up these stairs.
Yeah, well, I think they know what the attic is now.
Yeah.
No need to brief them in again.
I'm not briefing nobody
If you don't know by now, we got a couple episodes. Look, I'm already laughing. Sorry, future Chris.
So I don't do any editing on these podcasts. I like to keep it raw. I like to keep it fresh. But I have to edit this guy's laugh every single episode. Yeah. I just look for the spikes. Everything is always Christian laughing. Laugh in that direction. Yeah, if you're gonna laugh. Like you have a what do you call it? Like a twitch, you know?
Yeah, man.
Just turn that way.
This man's making me laugh from to the other side of the room, man. It's like telling a guy, man, go to the bathroom, go use the bathroom, but shoot the other way. Like what? It's my natural formation.
Let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Christian?
I'm doing great, man. No lie. I'm doing good. Off the podcast, we talk before the podcast. Try not to talk too much because we run out of topics to say. But
actually, what happens is he walks through the door. We don't say a word to each other for at least a good hour, 2 hours, and then we save a weeks-long conversation. You're witnessing the only conversation me and Christian have together.
For real, I purposely don't text this guy just to make sure we have stuff to talk about.
You just show up. I don't even know when we're going to record this thing.
But no, I mean, look, man, we're alive.
Yeah.
We're still kicking, and doing these really help, and hopefully it helps people listening too.
I'm loving everybody listening to this. Also, I think this is the first episode that we're recording where the show is now live. It's out there. Yeah. We have interactions. Okay, I want to touch on something from the last episode, which was episode 3. Okay. We were talking about D&D.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Which is Do Not Disturb, and it's Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, there's one other thing I was thinking about. I couldn't remember what it was, and now I remember.
Okay,
Do you want to know what it was?
What was it?
First off, I'm going to leave it up to everybody else in the attic with us right now to leave your suggestions on what D&D could potentially stand for.
Okay.
I'll give you a minute. Go ahead and comment.
Lock it in.
Oh,
hit that like button too while you're at it.
Go for it.
And subscribe. Okay, go.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Is that really what it stands for?
I've heard people refer to it as the DD or DND.
Really?
Dunk in Donuts. DND.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, which is like the last episode. Here's the thing. We've had 3 episodes so far. This is episode 4. I would say the first one, a little bit more movie related, right?
Right.
Second one, more game related. Third one,
more food related.
Obviously food related. This,
who knows?
This is gonna be.
Who knows what this is gonna be?
Nature related.
You know what? Like, food is always gonna be in our podcast. Everything. Like, I think episodes 1 through 3, that's for the most part what you're gonna get. I mean,
it's a culmination of what this is gonna be.
It's who we are.
Yeah.
It's who we are, and like, I kind of, I was in the bathroom right now, and as I said, that's where I do my thinking. I'm just like, you know what? People clearly like what we got going on here. It's nice hearing from like the old fans, the new fans, and to anyone that's just hit the subscribe button. But I guess I just wanted to, if you're cool with it, just kind of catch up and anything fun that you've done recently or anything like that you don't wouldn't mind sharing or anything like that. Anything fun, anything crazy? No.
I wish one day everyone's going to be able to see the video element of this. We're talking about eventually, after a benchmark or something, doing video. Christian's face that entire time was absolutely bonkers. Okay. I saw an early screening, which at the time that this goes up, it'll be I think it'll come out this day. But I saw The Flash yesterday. And it was incredible.
But I know you were holding back. You're holding back on some stuff you wanted to...
I don't want to spoil anything because, yes.
So you saw the whole thing?
I was invited to a screener. The thing is, this may be my favorite superhero movie I've seen in a while. Now, I will say that I'm not the biggest DCEU fan. I like Batman. The Batman films are good. I enjoyed the Joker. I like Shazam. But with Marvel, I was a diehard. I watched everything.
Wonder Woman? You just saw
I actually just recently saw Wonder Woman for the first time, too. And I've kind of like been catching up on those films. I watched like every Marvel thing ever. I haven't been loving everything post Endgame. I think that's kind of the consensus from everybody, really. It feels a little bit misguided. I loved No Way Home. It's like, I would say that Spider-Man movie is probably one of my favorite superhero movies just in general. It's just so enjoyable. It's so much fun. It's nostalgic. This has that same energy. I don't want to reveal anything. I don't want to say anything because I know there's going to be a lot of people potentially who want to see the film who have not seen it yet.
When does it come out?
I think next Friday, which will put us at what?
Probably the day that this episode comes out,
that's
right?
what I just said. You've been listening?
Man, sometimes it goes in through... I have earwax, low-key. I have earwax on my right ear. I've been trying to get it out, bro. I need to get it out. I need to hit up... Oh. You know that doctor you were telling me about that can,
Dr. Pepper?
That guy's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
How many flavors? 23?
Something like that, yeah.
He's got 23 flavors. Well, one of those flavors better be how to get this damn earwax out of my ear.
I want to touch... I'm going to circle back.
Come back to that.
Which, again, this show probably should have been called Circle Back. But... The Flash is fantastic. And there were... First off, this is not ruining anything. Michael Keaton, incredible. So good. Ezra Miller, a lot of controversy, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So this is... Because I'm not too familiar with, like, The Flash, because there's been a series, there's been this, there's been a that, there's been reshoots.
It's not really...
Is this the guy that, like...
Yeah,
like people wanted him to be the Flash, but then
no.
he had some controversy, and
no.
Or like what's this guy's story?
I don't remember. So there's the CW show, and he's not the main film Flash. This is Ezra Miller. He was he
was the one in Justice League,
Batman vs Superman.
I liked his Flash.
I like him too. Yeah. So they play the Flash, and Ezra did a great job.
That's great.
Let's circle back. The cameos are insane. There's cameos.
Did you see my cameo in there?
I saw your cameo.
I didn't tell you. I was in the Flash.
Yeah. You were.
Yeah, you missed it, dude. I was in and out. You. I don't know if you saw me, but I was in there.
I don't want to say anything. Maybe we'll come back. The next episode we'll talk about some spoilers because there's things that I think even you would get a kick out of. But I'll leave it at that. I hope everyone goes sees it. I hope it does well. And I'm excited for a lot of the things that DC's putting out. Now let's talk about your ear for a second because I will never forget the pain that you were in when you first moved to California. You were staying with me for like a month or two.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Not in the attic. No? You had a debilitating ear infection, which I've never seen this. I've known you since we were 13.
On this ear too.
Yeah, I've known you since you were 13, and I'm wondering if it's still affected.
Yeah, something about this. It's my right ear. Even when it just feels like it has a smaller canal. You know, when I remember when we got I got an infection because of the AirPods. I think the AirPods Pro or whatever they're called. Mm-hmm. Just because I slept in them, or I went to the gym and they had sweat, maybe just build up, and I wouldn't wash them. Like I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, what's in my body is my body, but like, it's part of me. What was my own body gonna kill me? But like, I remember.
Isn't that what happens?
I guess antibodies, right? Yeah. It's like our own body's killing us, but I'll get to the infection, but it just feels like I have water in my ear. And I remember you telling me about this procedure. Like, you can go to a doctor, and either they shoot it with water, or they do some crazy procedure that just pretty much gets out anything from inside your ear, and then they leave you with, like, supersonic hearing. Or that's what it feels like.
Yes.
Because it's just been, like, opened up. And, I love to swim. I love being inside the water. But every time I try to like swim properly and keep my head underwater, and when I come up for the breath, every time I turn my head to one side or the other, I get water in my ear. But it's always my right ear. It's like it's more susceptible to that. And I feel like maybe just that water, over time has just kind of increased the process of the mucus, like build up in your wax in your ear. And I just think that's what I'm suffering from right now. And it might be, what's the word I'm looking for? Genetic? Because I know my dad's having some issues right now, but maybe he's always had issues with his ear like that. But yeah, that ear infection when I first moved out here, bro. You gotta let them know how much pain was I in.
So I remember very vividly. One, you were popping. You were okay. I told you from the get-go, go see a doctor, get some antibiotics,
right?
Figure that out,
right?
You were the most stubborn person I've ever known in my entire life.
God.
You refused until you were on the brink of your head exploding.
Yeah.
And you were popping Tylenol like it was M&M. You're like, I don't care. And I'm like, all right, that's just your liver or your stomach or whatever. That's cool.
That was popping crazy.
You finally gave in, but you were on the couch, like in the fetal position, kicking the cushions,
yes,
screaming like
he
it was
is
not good.
Exaggerating.
You wouldn't sleep. You were just like tears.
I couldn't, and that is horrible pain. I felt, it felt like I had a concert of like a Taylor Swift concert living in my right ear. Like I wanted to get out. I was just get him out of here. And I was kicking and screaming. I was in tears, man. And like to this day, that is the only day I've called off work, like legitimate. Since I've been in California, that's the only day that I did not work. Like there's been days I stayed home because I'm sick, but I've still worked. That was to this day the only day that I've just like I can't. And in order for me to say I can't is because it was killing me.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
How inefficient humans are.
We are very inefficient.
Very inefficient, which is why artificial intelligence is going to essentially replace all of us.
Just take my body now, man.
AI. Yeah,
my body
we're worthless.
Is ready. My body is ready. Okay, just take me, man. Take my job.
This is what I want to get into. AI really quick, because I know there's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of polarizing thoughts. There's a lot of polarizing views. There's people who are scared it's going to bring the doom to all of us. There's a lot of people thinking that it's a great tool. There's there's thoughts that we're going to become the tools, and that's going to be the puppeteer.
I'm already a tool.
I'm not. You said it, not me.
I plead the fifth.
But there's a lot of weirdness with AI, and I agree with how scary it can be. I agree that there's a lot of weirdness in terms of copyright and ownership of certain things. I know that there's a lot of weirdness with it in terms of it being something that could be sentient at some point. But
there's always a but.
I'm really enjoying people, and again, this is maybe controversial, but I'm enjoying people making these remixes of different singers and celebrities singing different songs.
Yes.
Or bringing back singers that may have passed, which is maybe morally, there's a whole conversation there. But like I've been listening to songs like I think I showed you last week Michael Jackson's singing Cityscape.
Yeah.
which I'll link down below for people to listen to.
Show me some Frank Sinatra.
Some
Elvis.
Yeah, like singing new songs, and then also like The Weeknd singing with Michael Jackson, and like collaborations you would never see. I think it's like that aspect is cool. I get that there's a lot of weird gray area with it, but there's a lot of cool things that I think people are doing creatively with it.
Yes.
That if we could, I guess, come to an understanding of what, how it can be used in a just, rightful way, I think it could be used in a lot of fun ways, like people are using right now. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I agree. It is scary, I think, with any new thing that us as humans experience. We get scared because we don't know what it is. It's new to us, and it's always right to think about the wrong things that people can do with this technology, but the great things that come out of it hopefully outshine, because there's always going to be bad with the good. You can't have good without bad, and vice versa. Something else that I've seen that I really like about AI is the new feature I was showing you with like Photoshop.
Which is pretty scary too, though.
It is, but there's just crazy memes going around it right now. I'm sure you've seen them.
I've seen them. Yeah.
And it's stuff like that, but like it allows the common person or your average Joe to jump in there and be creative and do stuff that you just either they don't have the time to do, or maybe just some people don't have the knowledge or will to do. But something I think of is like restoring old photos. Mm-hmm. I posted a photo of my mom, I think for Mother's Day, of when she was young and living in Mexico, and I'm sure there's countless of like let's say black and white photos. Mm-hmm. It's gonna get to the point where like it's just gonna recolorize everything like perfectly, and there's people that do that already, and they do an amazing job. But things like that, or hey, this is a crazy person that's in this photo with me, I don't want him in there, gone, and the AI is just going to be able to do all that at the snap of a finger. And that's just in this digital, photographic space. But there's countless things, and it's just going to be evolving with time, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. I think we have to evolve with it and not just... Because there's no stopping it at this point, right? So it's like, do we continue fighting it as it continues to grow, or do we grow with it? I remember a lot of conversation. I mean, I was too young to remember it, but I heard about it years later that there was a lot of negativity in the art space, and not just art space, but just in general about Photoshop. Mm-hmm. That it was a tool that was replacing artists, that was replacing the legitimacy of photography and certain, mediums at the time. And Photoshop was seen as like this negative thing. And now... Why did I say it like that? Like, now.
Because you're from Chicago now.
What you doing? Photoshop.
Are you an AI, bro?
I'm a...
Am I an AI?
Christian Mata.
You got me thinking, bro. Like, am I even really here? Is this all a matrix?
Yeah, that's the other conversation. Are we AI that has just developed our own AI? And then, who knows? Who knows? It's scary.
Like, it's probably going to get to the point where, like, we're going to film so many of these episodes, and you're going to plug in all the archive. You're going to plug in ChrisCrossMedia's archive into an AI software and just, like, please talk about the current objects of January. Blah, blah, what would be and then there you go. We don't even have to be here. We're going to make 20 podcasts a day.
An interesting idea for a podcast. I don't know if we'll ever do this. But let's say you and I record, right? And then we transcribe the entire thing. We don't upload it. We just transcribe it. So we record for an hour, transcribe it, then feed that into one of those like Soundbox AI things. I used it for like Mario and a couple other things. And we just pick two characters and then have it read the script, and then that's the podcast.
We should. Now, I think now we have to do it.
We should at least try for like maybe 5 minutes
like a funny episode,
the intro.
Right? When they do those like crossover episodes, like Simpsons and Family Guy, when they had that crossover, or when the Simpsons went back in time to meet their like original Simpsons. Mm-hmm. We can do something like that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
What do you mean, like younger versions of ourselves?
Yo, I didn't even think of that, but we have footage and audio because
Oh yeah, we do.
We're the same people. And I think for the last maybe, 10 years, I think we sound the same how we sound now, but
a little deeper.
But there's videos of us maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah.
We don't sound. We still sound like ourselves, but a lot younger.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
We're pitched up.
If we can do something like that, and tie it into like
ChrisCross generations.
Yeah, like Sonic generations.
Speaking of which, Sonic Superstars dropped today. Which I think people know when we're recording this.
Wait, did it drop or
the trailer?
The trailer.
Dropped.
Okay,
yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, I know, dude.
I love Sonic so much. I know. Here's the thing. It's so weird because I've played a lot of Sonic games. I haven't played all of them.
No.
I haven't watched the shows at all. But I have so much love and admiration for Sonic and like the aesthetic and what it did for the media gaming landscape. At that time, and I'm always rooting for Sonic. Like I want Sonic to work, and I think they may have realized that it works so well as a 2D game. That's what it's meant to be, and I don't think they should abandon the idea of doing 3D. I just think that it's their bread and butter.
Right.
It wasn't like Mario where it clicked and worked in the other way. People love the adventure games. I played them. I loved Adventure 1 and 2, but I think it's easy to say that there's a lot more. Better designed games in the 2D space as opposed to 3. But this game looks amazing.
It does.
Aesthetically.
It does look sick. Like, you know, and I don't know if this was the same for you, but growing up, you know, I was kind of like bred to hate Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was a Nintendo fanboy. My friend Christian had a Sega and a Nintendo, and I played Sonic at his house, and I liked it. I loved the music, but like it was always like, nah, like Nintendo, Mario #1. But I really think like the tipping point that like turned us into like how you're saying, where I just love Sonic, I'm rooting for Sonic, was when I could relate more to Sonic. Once I knew that like we're the same age as him.
Yeah.
You know, and we went to that whole celebration during Sonic
Boom.
You know, Sonic Boom and all that, and like just got to see how much love there is for Sonic, and then how much Sega loves Sonic, that they literally like just said, hey, we're gonna blow up the console division, we're gonna do, you know, destroy this and that, whoop-de-woo, but we're still gonna focus on Sonic and still support the game, and to this day has not let it die. That just makes me want to support it even more.
After a lot of fumbles, too.
Yes.
I think, like, any other franchise, I think they would have been like, all right, I think we shouldn't touch this anymore.
Right, like, Sonic is an embodiment of, like, resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just keep going. No matter how hard you fall, you get up and you keep moving forward. And I'm excited to play this game. Maybe we play it on here, you know. You know, we have Sonic Generations Let's Play. Go watch it if you haven't already.
It's one of my favorite Let's Plays we did.
It is up there.
Actually, I would say all of our Let's Plays are some of my favorite Let's Plays.
I always plug our Let's Plays, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about the Lion King. One of my friends are like, oh, I remember playing that game. I'm like, oh yeah, we actually beat it. It's on there. Oh, Donkey Kong Country. Yep, we beat that. It's over there.
Pokemon Snap, though.
Pokemon Snap. Who has that? Nobody. Like, so that game comes out. And we can play together. What it looks like it's like
it's multiplayer.
Multiplayer on the same screen.
Yeah.
You know, you got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy.
Gotta love it.
So 4 characters, superstars.
And you know that soundtrack is gonna clap,
dude. It always does.
Yeah.
It always does.
That's the one thing. Sonic. Whatever you say about the games, the mechanics, camera, whatever. Music, flame. It's always good. Always good.
Always, which is I'm surprised by. You said you've never seen any of the shows, right? Like his cartoons and stuff.
I've dabbled, but I can't say that I've watched them through or watched a large collection of them.
Yeah, I mean, I used to wake up on Saturday mornings to watch Sonic X.
I saw Sonic X.
That was my and then before that they had
what was the original, the one with Jaleel White? What was that one?
Yeah, I believe that's the one where they were like in a rock band. Or that was different. That was a different one.
Was that called Sonic Boom? Or no?
I don't. It might have been. I forget. But the reason why I brought up the music was like, I mean, they were like rock stars. It was him and like two other cartoon characters. But the one you're mentioning, I think that was a whole separate thing. So they've had their own things, and then the movie was a huge success.
Yeah.
I think that Sonic movie, you know. It's like the founding father of these movies, I think.
It was like the turning tide where I think people started to take video game movies a little bit more serious. Mm-hmm. I would argue I think Detective Pikachu did a decent job.
Was that
as
before?
Well. Detective Pikachu came out 2019, and Sonic came out like right before the whole pandemic, so like 2020. I mean, that was supposed to come out in 2019, November.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I would argue I think both of them are like hand in hand in that, you know, little CGI cute characters. You know, I'm excited for Detective Pikachu 2. I almost just want them to do like another Pokemon movie though.
They're gonna make a second one?
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's not gonna be like you're not gonna have Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu again.
You're gonna have to.
Okay,
me up on
so
that story.
Ryan Reynolds was Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
And the whole thing was, there's this machine that merges Pokemon with humans.
Okay.
So at the end of it, Ryan Reynolds was the dad of the main character the entire time.
Right.
he's separated. So Pikachu's now just a normal Pikachu, and Ryan Reynolds is just like he's this detective guy. So you're just gonna. Well, I guess you could just have Ryan Reynolds running around with a Pikachu, but I felt like so much of that gimmick was Pikachu. Him. Yeah, him being Pikachu.
And does he not want to reprise the role, or
no?
Or you just don't.
Well, what I'm saying is
merge them again, or
what I'm saying is like I feel like the whole fun of that movie was this smart talking Pikachu, and if it's just like I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
It ruined its like mystique, kind of.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a cough.
Yeah, go in that direction. Thank you.
Sorry, Mike.
Just cough in my face next time, actually.
If I get you sick, we won't have another episode.
Uh-oh.
Hi, guys. This is the sick episode.
Oh, speaking of video game movies, we talked about it in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I believe episode 2.
You talking about Zelda?
Zelda.
Yeah.
So, we spoke it into existence.
We did. You're welcome.
And, yep, you're welcome to all the Zelda fan base. I'm telling you, we get it here first. There's Zelda Dungeon, there's Zelda Universe, but there's ChrisCrossMedia's Zelda news, and we cracked it first. We told you guys that there was going to be a Zelda movie.
There's nobody working on it. Nintendo never had a conversation with Netflix.
Nothing.
Just Christian snapped his fingers and it just kind of happened.
What are you doing here? Mm-hmm. Me? Nothing. Nothing.
I have a lot of love for Beetlejuice.
That was me inside the archives, inside the conference room. They're over there talking about the Zelda movie. Mm-hmm. Hey, what are you doing over there? Huh?
Me?
Just
hanging around.
Taking all your files. Going to the attic.
So okay, let's say hypothetically it's on Netflix. So that means it's I'm assuming going to be a series, not a film. It could be a film, but I think they're going to go series.
I think Zelda has to be series.
I think so too.
There's too much.
There's too much. You can't consolidate that story in an hour, 2 hours.
Like Mario has a basic story.
Yeah.
Go save the princess. Is your brother. Blah blah blah, and they can go to different worlds. But Zelda, as we mentioned, it's timelines, generations, different versions. Your cousin and your uncle and your long lost. It's just too much. It could be like a Game of Thrones kind of thing,
Ooh. Will you walk me through that?
Well, it's just a big series,
mm-hmm.
And just all these families tied together.
Live action, though?
I mean, I want live action.
I do, too.
But
it comes down to casting.
But if it's Illumination... I
don't think Illumination is doing it.
No?
Look, it's a lot of rumors. I think it's just like Nintendo working closely with Netflix. There might be like another production house, but I don't think Illumination is touching it.
Yeah,
I could be completely wrong.
I would love to see a live action, but it would still be weird because, though they've added voice lines in what is it, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild? Did it have like some dialogue in it?
Yeah, of course.
But
Link doesn't talk.
Link still doesn't talk, so it's still kind of like weird.
But then again, Mario never talked, and we kind of mocked that until we saw it, and then we said, "Oh, this is great."
I would love to see a live action. Zelda to me is like a medieval, gory type of story that involves going into dungeons, killing, blood. It doesn't have to be super gory, but there has to be some type of action and seeing like Ganondorf just destroyed by the Master Sword in 4K.
Have you seen the fan casting? Like there's some posters that went around. I think it was AI generated. This is, I would say, fairly recent. They had Tom Holland as Link, which I could see it, but I also feel like that's such an easy, obvious choice that I want to think outside of that box.
Right.
I want to say they had Emma Watson as Zelda, and I don't know. This is the casting that I loved. Idris Elba as Ganondorf.
Yo.
Right? I think that's great casting. I think he can hold it. I think he can bring the life of that character to the screen, but I also think he can do his own spin on it. And then I think Idris has such a presence. Like, I'll say this. Any movie, any franchise that is extremely successful and is memorable it's never really the main protagonist character that is the star. It's always the villain.
Lately, yeah.
Not lately, I would say historically. Let's look at some cinematic stuff, right? Star Wars, Darth Vader. Okay, look at Batman. I would argue, like, Heath Ledger stole the show.
Yeah.
The Joker. I'm trying to think of another movie. I'm going blank right now.
You know what it is? I think it's because
You need to get that right.
The villain embodies what I think the viewer wants. Like, we all, like, you want to be the bad guy in life, but you can't really, because you're gonna get in trouble. You know, you're gonna get locked up. If I did the things Joker did, I'd be in jail right now, and we'd be recording this podcast through a glass screen right now. But, like, you know, you if I see Darth Vader, like, dude, I want to be that dude. Yeah. I want to go and just but, like, and you go watch the movie for the hero, but then you feel so much sympathy towards the villain, and, like, you gotta root for the guy.
What's that saying? It's like the villains you love to hate. I think that's true.
Yeah.
Think about like all the cinematic universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? There's some movies that I can guarantee you don't remember the villain. It's because they fell flat. Think of, like, Thor: Dark World. Do you remember the villains?
Was that Thor 3?
That's the second. See,
you proved your point. Who's Thor?
All right, now Black Panther. Who is the villain?
If I can't think of it, like, in 2 seconds, they did something wrong.
It was Killmonger. It was Michael B. Jordan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's an iconic villain. Okay, Thanos. Everyone knows Thanos. Everyone, you know, like, I think maybe that was a bad example.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. Well, I know that, but that was Mandarin. That was.
You took too long, bro. You took too long.
No.
Look. Watch this. Lion King.
Like Scar.
There you go. See, you didn't hesitate.
But no, I did hesitate for a second to prove a point. Speaking of Lion King, I wanted to get there. Do you hear about this news?
No.
So Sean Bailey, he's like the president of Disney Entertainment.
Uh-huh.
He was talking about the prequel that they're making to the live-action Lion King.
Are they still making that?
Yes.
You've been telling me this since, like, 2007. Since Copa and this and that, and Copa, the only Copa I want is right here. So they're finally doing something.
Listen. Let me talk.
Okay,
talk. All right, I'm about to drop some.
Drop some knowledge on me.
The Lion King live action came out in 2019. Then they said, okay, instead of a sequel, like a straight up sequel, we're gonna do a prequel, and it's gonna be called Mufasa.
Right. Yeah, you told me this. It's gonna be on that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what they're saying, what he suggested is there is enough story there that they want to build out the live action Lion King story.
Okay.
Into a franchise like the Star Wars saga.
Fully on Lion King?
Yeah.
Are you Lion King?
Nah, bro.
Why are you always lying?
I'm not. I mean, here's the thing. So, I think you and I think we could speak from the heart here. We love Lion King so much. That, so like, much the idea.
I'm contemplating on that being incorporated into my first tattoo. That's how much I love the Lion King.
See? But I don't know about this. I think that if they really want to put together some really cool resources and they want to tell this big overarching story and make it something extremely special, by all means, if you have the stories to tell, do it. But if it's just because, well, The Lion King made almost $2 billion at the box office and the animation is so big, which I think is the driving force.
Well, yeah, that's a huge part of it. That definitely a huge part of it. You know, let's name off some characters, and let's go to Timon and Pumbaa. We kind of already had a little backstory of them, in Lion King 1.5.
Yeah,
I think,
which I liked 1.5.
I love that movie, and so they already kind of have a little bit of lore backstory there. I could see them expanding at least Timon and Pumbaa.
Sure.
I think it would be cool to see like a Rafiki backstory. Where did he come from? Is there like a big community of? He's a baboon, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
No, he's a mandrill.
Well, whatever technicality is, but that would be cool. Like, let's see, we get kind of like a Planet of the Apes style thing, with like Rafiki, right? And
What do you mean?
Like, there's a whole community, and maybe there's, he had to do some
Oh,
fighting to get
I
to
thought
the
you were
top.
talking
Maybe
about
he's like,
Rafiki being like,
like coming over like Caesar's arch
Yeah.
nemesis or something. But there's a little story there. Like, I feel like you can tie in Rafiki. He
I
has
can
that
see
lore.
that.
How did he get to the position he's at?
Mhm.
And then obviously he met Mufasa along the way, and he's been with Mufasa for a very long time. That was the whole story of the Lion King, right? Like,
I think we're gonna see that in this Mufasa movie.
right. Okay. Well, I'm just saying, and then Scar. I mean, I would love to see a Scar backstory.
Which I think is what we're gonna see in this
Also?
Mufasa movie too.
So then, what else? How can they?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of the stories you could tell, it's gonna be
in this one Mufasa thing.
this one Mufasa thing. I don't. If they were to do sequels, sure, but like I guess you could try to continue the story, but like, at what point is the audience just gonna say, "What is this?"
I mean, you know my take on like the Disney's live action. Like, I personally don't really like it.
It's a real hit or miss.
To me, with the Lion King, it's like, especially with the Lion King, it was just so special that it was the cartoon growing up, the animation, the story. To me, it was just one of those things you just don't touch. Don't touch it. Like, you touched it for the sake of money, and sure, they made money, but at what cost? To me, they diluted what the Lion King was. And then now if they're just gonna dilute it even more and even more and even more.
Okay, so with this Mufasa movie, here's the thing. I don't think that the live action Lion King was their biggest offense out of all these live action remakes. Like, there are they've done some weird things where it's like, why did it, like, did you see Pinocchio?
Did I? No.
No. It's like you're watching it and you're thinking, how do you screw it up this bad?
Mm-hmm.
They're like taking some big swings and they're receiving huge misses. Lion King, it was kind of like a shot for shot remake, and I think for me the takeaway was seeing these visuals come to life in a way where I honestly haven't seen visuals that convincing. Like, seeing a lion sing and talk like a human is a little jarring, but like, I think anybody would be lying, pun intended, to say like the backgrounds and the fur and the artistry that was put to create those characters and those environments, it was outstanding. Like, it was visually incredible. Technologically,
yes, it was a huge undertaking in the industry. I agree.
But the problem is, I think people, they watch the movie and they say, okay, like, this is where they mess up. If they stray too far from the story or they try to do something new, people will complain because it's not the Lion King they grew up with. When it's too close to the source material, people complain it's just a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you're screwed if you did, screwed if you didn't. So then it's like, why even bother?
Why even do it?
Now here's the thing, though. They got over the first movie. So now with this Mufasa film, you have these characters which... I've always been interested in this Mufasa Scar backstory. I know there's some children's books that kind of touched on it. There's been some theories about how Scar got his scar, how Scar got his name, the brotherhood, the friendship and the brotherhood of the two of them together, and what was the thing that caused them to drift. Mufasa's and Scar's, or do you know Scar's original name?
No.
Taka. Mufasa's and Taka's like parents, like who was like their father, and how was he as a king, and how did they meet Rafiki and Zazu? How does he come into play? There's a cool story they can tell there, and this is what's exciting because you're not going to have anything to reference,
right.
So it's going to be completely original with characters that aren't. It's not like Rey from Star Wars where people are like, who is she? Like, I don't understand this.
Out of the blue.
Out of nowhere, you either love it or you hate it. Like, people know Mufasa, they know Scar. They're invested in these characters already, but you're telling an entirely new story, and nobody can come in and say, oh, it's strayed too far from the source material. Oh, it was too close, because it's a new thing. It's a new beast. So that's why I'm excited. I really think that it comes down to the music, and I hope that it's traditional. I hope that it's still in the vein and the heart of The Lion King. I want Hans Zimmer to come back. bring Lebo M. I want it, and I think
James Earl Jones.
he's done.
But wasn't he like the first person to submit his voice to like be used?
He uses AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used his. Have you seen Kenobi on Disney Plus?
No.
I really love that series. It's not perfect, but there's some things in there that are like it's some of the most.
So like he's not,
Such
you
a
know,
cool-
he's gonna live on forever.
Yes.
You
What
know?
what I would say is his Darth Vader in that show used AI, and it was incredibly good. The thing is, they've already cast an actor for a young Mufasa, and so
That's
James,
cool.
and his voice
Is similar,
deep.
deep,
and
Okay.
it's slightly
like
youthful.
Kratos deep.
It's. I will say this: like the casting for him, spot on.
You
Like
know,
he's James Earl Jones.
I'm cool with the prequel, with like what you're saying. There's definitely a lot there, and I would hope that if you're gonna have a prequel, you have a sequel. And I'm a huge fan of Lion King 2.
I'm gonna check
Simba's
out.
Pride. But I think it'd be cool if they do like some foreshadowing in this prequel that could like give Kovu a little bit more of a backstory, or we get to see that like relationship or we get to see a little bit of what Kovu is, but with how Scar is as a baby, and if they come back and tie that circle of life around, and we get to see that similarity later on.
Ooh, you bring up an interesting point. Like in The Godfather 2,
Uh-huh.
how they kept going back and forth with Vito Corleone.
Yes.
He's Robert De Niro
Yeah.
in Italy, or not Italy. Yeah, was he in Italy?
Yes.
Was he? Yes.
Yeah.
And then it zooms forward, and now you're following. Vito's already passed on at this point, but you're following now his son, who's following in his footsteps, and he's starting the family in a completely different direction, right?
Yeah.
You could go that route. You could do like
could.
Scar and then zoom forward to Kovu. And I think, look, I dog on Lion King 2 for
And
reasons.
it would give him more oomph, you know?
There's an opportunity there to make that movie, that sequel,
Better than the original sequel.
improve on it. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
Lion King, the first one, you can't improve on it. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's a masterpiece. The second one,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm sorry
you
to
do your
say.
prequel, all right, brand new, but then you use that to embellish the
I'm
sequel.
down. I'm down for that.
And then you have the trilogy,
Yeah. I'm down.
and it could work.
And again, I say this, I wanted them to do this in the live action movie. I want them to incorporate more music from the Broadway. Put it in the film. Put it in the live action films.
You know what would be sick? If when all this is said and done, it gets exclusive rights somehow, some way to Apple, and we get to experience this amazing like HD graphics and all that using the new Apple Pro Vision or whatever it's called.
You know what?
And like being in there, like you're in the savannah and like, oh my god, there's Mufasa right there. Like you get to move around in this virtual space and you have 4K right in your eyes. That'd be sick.
I was going to say this show should be called Circle Back. I think it should be called Segue, because that was a beautiful segue. Yes.
Yeah, I try.
$3,500. I doubt they're going to go that route right away.
Should we buy one for the podcast?
I think we should. Could you imagine oh, that's the future right there.
Like they're gonna be right here,
Like
chilling
sitting with us on the couch.
Yo, hey, you guys heard that? Go buy the Apple Pro Vision. Is that what it's called? Pro Vision Plus?
I think so. Pro Vision?
Pro Vision? That's
Yeah.
where I get my glasses at.
This
Shout out
thing,
to Pro Vision.
I gotta
hashtag-
say, it looks cool.
I like
looks
it.
cool. I like it too. Is it absurdly expensive? Sure,
Yeah.
it'll come down.
Let's be honest, I can't get it, but
That is probably the coolest version of VR AR I've seen so far.
yes, dude. Like I've always seen like the NBA have those like courtside seats that you can do like with Oculus or one of the other Samsung VR thing. But when Apple, it's like every time Apple does something, it just forces the entire industry to move in that direction. And that's what excites me the most. Yeah, you had your little, you had Facebook doing its thing with Oculus. You had Samsung and the PlayStation. But, like, Now you bring the entire Apple ecosystem into this. Developers, everyone's just going to jump on board and make software. And if it does it well, which, I mean, what hasn't Apple done well?
They've had some misses, but what was the thing that Steve Jobs hated? It was like the Palm Pilot. What was that called?
From his book, right?
From his book, yeah.
I think it was the Palm Pilot.
It was a Palm Pilot, but like, what was it called? It had like
I forget what it was called.
Who's Isaac Newton? The Newton.
The Newton.
Yeah,
yes,
the Newton.
Yes. But dude,
this is why I think this is gonna work better than the Oculus and all those other ones, because this was Steve Jobs' philosophy from day one. He wanted to create like a lifestyle brand,
right,
where everything you do is a network of devices you're using on a day-to-day basis. And this hooks to your Apple TV, your phone. It essentially becomes, it's like what the Switch did, right? It kind of cannibalized there's no longer a handheld Nintendo system. It's just a Switch. This is everything all in one.
To me, it's like what like in Iron Man when he pulls up to his lab and he can just see the screens
Everything
in front and like wipes it away, this and that. And I was watching MKBHD's like first impressions and thoughts, and this guy knows his tech. I've been watching him for years, but the way he broke it down, which is so super cool, he was saying that like, let's say you got your MacBook right in front of you, you're doing some work, you put this thing on, it detects the screen of your MacBook, and whatever is on there, it's gonna mirror it and show it to you in this.
Right.
So you get this widescreen, and you know when we compare like Apple or like iPhone to an Android device, back then or even to this day, it's just so fluid. When you go from one phone to the next, you can tell like Apple's screen is just that much more responsive. You click it, it's that much more snappy.
Right.
And he's saying that like in order to use the interface, you just move your hand within space without a controller because of all the cameras it has. And just by like pinching your thumb and your index finger, you're able to like drag, make selections. And he says that the response time is crisp.
1 to 1. And also, I think the game changer is you're able to see through it. With the Oculus, you have to take it off.
Yeah.
This, like they showed, I think the demonstration I thought was, very brilliant way to do it was the father cooking in the kitchen, or he was in the kitchen and his kid's kicking him a soccer ball.
Yeah.
And he's able to do what he was doing and then still play soccer with his kid.
It's called like active pass-through or something like that.
I'm very curious how heavy it is and how it feels, because like if it's like
they said it's fairly heavy because it's made out of premium like aluminum or steel.
Well, that's what I'm excited to see 5-10 years from now. When I think it's going to get to a point where...
This is the iPhone 1.
This is the iPhone 1. I think it's going to get to a point where it's just like glasses you put on.
Right.
And that's it. Imagine like down the line, you're able to just throw it on glasses and it hooks up to like a Google Maps, right? And you're able to see, like you're looking at the road and it shows you...
Oh my God.
You're looking at the...
That's probably going to be developed.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, what was I going to... You know what's so cool? Speaking of glasses... Because that was one of my worries. I wear glasses. Yes, I have contacts. But they made it to where you're going to be able to take it to like an optometrist. And let's say you already have prescription glasses. They're going to be able to put lenses like regular like
Did
prescription.
They say that?
Yeah. They're going to have prescription lenses in the thing. So you're not, you don't have to put it over your glasses. It'll legit be glasses. And you'll put it on. It has lenses inside. Like, that's so sick.
By the way, how cool was it? I don't know if this already exists, but it was the first time I saw it, where it was the woman in the demonstration, she's watching a movie, and then she presses a button, and then the environment around the screen changed, and she was like in a...
Yeah, you can do that.
I know, but that doesn't currently exist, right? Like anything like that?
Like in VR? I don't know.
I don't know, but I thought that was incredible.
And it's all through the dial. Like, it has a little, like, knob, and you can say, like, I want to be in the real world, or I want to be in the, digital world.
realm, yeah.
Digimon. Yeah, dude. I wish I had the money to get that, If Bill Gates is watching, or Elon Musk, if you're listening, you can always donate to the attic. We'll take good care of it. It won't collect dust up here. We'll be using it.
When does that drop?
Early next year. So, yeah, I'm excited.
You think you're going to see people walking around the street with them?
Well, here's the thing. So, according to Marquez, it has a 2-hour battery life. So, it's not the greatest. And in order to keep it charged, it does have a wire that it's going to probably be magnetic, I think, similar to all the, laptops. And it has like a brick and it connects to it. So
what if it could be like solar powered or run off like the electricity in your body?
That's what he was saying. Like, yeah, he was saying like there's gonna be like there's the third party developer that creates something that makes this last longer is gonna make a killing.
Right.
Whether that is solar power or what have you, And then I'm sure whatever person develops that, Apple's gonna swallow them up.
Right. And
join them. And speaking about that, I've been a huge supporter, and I've been telling you this since I heard about them, was the company Bento. And I was so excited at what they did.
We use it. We have a Bento account.
It was the some ex-employees from Twitter that got let go, like when Elon Musk came. They're like, we're going to make our own thing, because Twitter was actually suppressing those style of links. Anything that redirected you elsewhere, it was being suppressed in their algorithm. So if you were to make a tweet and let's say, hey, I'm going live on Twitch or whatever, and they wouldn't push that. So these developers, they created their own Linktree-like website, which was Bento. And I showed it to you. I thought it was amazing. And it was like a competitor to Linktree. And I like Linktree, but I'm always that kind of guy. Like, I want to try something new. And
Bento also just aesthetically looked nicer, and I thought the user interface and also just like the back end of it, like
it just felt so fluid.
It was easier,
And they kept upgrading it, developing it, taking feedback.
So walk me through this. So they got bought out by Linktree.
Yeah, it was funny. So the original email said.
I got it too, but I didn't read it. So I read your text, and I'm like, okay.
I didn't read it either because I'm like, I got a bunch of spam. But the original email that the CEO sent out said, Bento acquires Linktree. And I was like, what? And then I was reading the thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. This sounds like Linktree acquired Bento. And then I think like a few minutes later, the CEO sent another email, and he was like, we all make mistakes. Let's be honest. There's no way Bento acquired Linktree. It was the other way around. And then it was like the same email, corporate jumble, whatever you want to call it. But
wow,
I don't know, man. Like, how do you feel about that? Because me personally, I get it. There was just a couple of developers. They probably made bank.
I say good for them.
Yeah, I wish them congratulations. When this stuff happens, it's either Linktree bought them out to like just kill their competition.
I think, yeah.
Or they bought them because yes, they're gonna kill their competition, but they're going to incorporate these features into what they have. What do you think?
I think they killed competition. Because here's my question to you. Was there anything proprietary to Bento that Linktree couldn't just say, oh, I kind of like that feature. Let's just get an intern to program something similar? Like, why would they go out of their way to buy this whole company?
Well, maybe there was like patents and stuff.
But like, that's what I'm wondering. Was there anything proprietary where it was solely unique to Bento, where Linktree says, man, we love this feature, we love this something they developed, we can't legally, so the best option is just to buy them out. So that's what I'm curious, because yes, aesthetically it looked different, but I don't know if there anything was.
I think they had to have had some patents, because what I really liked is you put in a link and it gave you all these different options. Do you want a square, a long rectangle, short rectangle, whatever? What image do you want to show? Like, it was all these things you can change. Add graphics. You can do so much stuff. They had added like Spotify. You can incorporate all these different widgets. Like, you can't do that on Linktree. So, I hope, because I loved the service so much, and they were only out for like 6 months before they got bought out. I just hope that they don't kill it, because I really like the service. I really like the software. There's still going to be like a Q&A. Probably by the time this comes out, they'll put out that Q&A.
Yeah.
But, only time will tell. Regardless, whatever link is in our bio, be sure to click it. It might be a Bento. It might be a Linktree. But just click it. Follow us on everywhere. Everywhere we have a social media, go follow.
I think that I don't know where I was going to go with that, but I'm going to switch it up right now. You know what we should talk about?
Do what you gotta do.
Let's talk about.
Dang, not right now, man. Not right now. Save that for the Patreon.
No. What I want to talk about is let's go back to gaming really quick.
Okay, take it back.
So there's the Summer Game Fest, which is currently kind of in the midst. It's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Xbox presentation on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hoping to see at that presentation? Is there anything kind of on your radar that you hope comes out?
Yeah,
Is in development currently? Do you think there's gonna be any big surprises or announcements of?
I mean, so I was at the Xbox Fan Fest last year, which was the showcase, and last year, what Xbox was saying, Phil Spencer came on stage, and he said that all the titles that they were showing were going to be anything that is going to be released in a year's time. Anything that was outside of that year development, they weren't going to show. They weren't going to tease you. They're just we want to show you what's coming and what's coming now.
Okay.
And a lot of those titles that came out, biggest one that flopped was Redfall. It was supposed to be this, Xbox exclusive title that was supposed to be really good, zombies, this and that, vampires, all this crazy stuff, and it completely bombed. And even the developers that were working on it came out and said, yeah, we didn't even really want to make it. We were kind of hoping that Xbox just canned the game and didn't, do it. But from what I've read this year, the showcase is they've done with it has to be within a year. So they can talk about stuff that's 2, 3, maybe more years out in the future. And, for me, just how we mentioned that we bought a PlayStation due to Kingdom Hearts, the reason I think you and I both have Xboxes is due to that green man right there, and that's Master
Shrek?
Chief.
Oh.
And Shrek. I had Shrek's 2 DVD installed on my 360.
Yep.
But I want to see Halo. And just this last weekend, we had DreamHack Dallas and the HCS, the Halo Championship Series, hosted a tournament that weekend. And they teased the upcoming season of Halo Infinite, Season 4, dropping June 20th. And they didn't touch on everything. And there was rumors that they may showcase more of not only Season 4, but future seasons of Halo Infinite. And hopefully, to answer your question, hopefully what we hear is news about Tatanka, codename Tatanka, which is the rumored Halo Battle Royale developed by Texas-based Certain Affinity. And people think that that's 2 years out from now. Probably is. I just hope we get at least acknowledgement that it exists, because right now it's it's a rumor.
This? I have no idea. What are you talking about?
You don't know about Tatanka?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
What's
Tatanka.
a Tatanka?
So Tatanka is it's codename Tatanka, and I believe it was a wrestler who won the first ever battle royale wrestling tournament.
That's cool.
So that's why it's codename Tatanka.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's a company called Certain Affinity that was founded by Max Hoberman, who was a multiplayer, high level in Bungie for Halo 2. And Certain Affinity has worked alongside 343 for years. They've helped them make maps, for Halo 4, Halo 2 Anniversary, you name it. And, they're their own company, but they've been tasked by Microsoft to make this game, Halo game, but no information, no concrete, legitimate information has come out. There's been rumors, there's been debunkings, there's been teases, but nothing official. So that's the one thing that I'm keeping my hopes down. I don't want to be disappointed, but even if it's just a 3-second splash screen like Halo Tatanka, and like that's it. I can go, yeah, like I'm gonna go crazy.
You know what is official?
It's official.
You know? Do you know it is official?
It's official.
No,
They just
no.
haven't said anything
I'm
yet.
asking you. Do you know what is official? See, I'm not as good as
me and you together.
I'm not good at. I can't segue like you.
Nah, bro. You can't.
What is official is our sponsor for today's show.
Ooh, yes.
Entertainment Earth.
Let them know, man. Let them know.
You know me. I love toys. Look around, right? If you have your Apple VR set in, you can kind of look around the attic here. Got toys everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment Earth is an incredible website where you can get action figures, toys, pop figures. You can do pre-orders for all your favorite brands, Hasbro, Mattel. I always use Entertainment Earth for exclusive Jurassic products that come through. They have some great Star Wars, Hasbro, Black figures, exclusives on there. We have an affiliate link down in the description for a discount. Use our code.
And we'll put it in the comment as well. We'll pin it at the top of the comments
Sure,
too.
why not?
Yeah. Double the.
That's a great
double
idea,
the
Christian.
codes.
Thank you.
Hey man, we're just trying to get these people what they need, you know?
Yeah. Gonna help us out, help you out, get yourself some cool toys.
Yeah.
And if you buy anything from Entertainment Earth, make sure to tell us what you bought. If you collect anything, which I think that's a cool segue. We should talk about some collecting after
but,
this.
you know, please go buy everything because we're trying to get this Apple Pro Vision, so it helps us out, man. Help a brother out.
As you can see, I am a big collector of different things. Over the course of my life, I've collected Jurassic Park toys, which I think is probably my biggest poison. I love Star Wars things. You can see the variety of... I like these Black Series helmets that they have. I love Disney collectibles. As a kid, I was really into the Disney pin trading scene.
Yeah, you were.
Pokemon cards is another thing I like to collect. What have you kind of dabbled in? Because I know there's certain franchises and things I know you really like.
You know,
go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge collector at heart, you know, but sometimes the bank account stops me. You know, before I go off on a spree, I'd like to thank, I guess you can say thank, but, you know, I gotta thank the Pokemon franchise, because without the Pokemon franchise, I don't think I'd even be a collector. I blame the Pokemon franchise for giving me this bug to want to collect everything. You know, I don't have a lot of full collections, but, you know, I've collected everything kind of like you've collected. You know, I've collected Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you know, video games, and, you know, I used to save my, I think I told you, my casts when I broke my bones. I used to save all the casts.
How many casts do you have?
I had my elbow, my thumb, my pinky, my knee.
What was the worst break? Tell us that story.
Oh man.
I will say though, let us know what you guys collect. I want to know what's everybody's kind of passion. I think that also does help guide us for future giveaways.
Yeah.
Because I think knowing collectively what people do like, I think it would be cool to do like a fun giveaway, which is something we used to do a lot on this channel.
Yeah.
So if it's Pokemon cards, if it's games, but I'm going to segue to a bone-breaking story from Christian really quick, because I'm curious. I had no idea you broke so many things.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you're Boo Boo Bunny over here.
I'll tell you, but you know, I do want to mention one prize collection that I have. It's the one thing that I did complete, and there is like a cool story behind that too. Maybe we'll touch on it on another podcast. But I have these miniature White Sox baseballs that were given away after the World Series championship. So the White Sox won in 2005, and I believe these went out in 2006. Yeah, I mean the story behind that is kind of cool. Maybe we can, I don't know, whatever you want to hear first, but
go for it. Just
go for it. You know, so pretty much what happened is we had, at our high school, you know, we went to a private high school, and one of the brothers there was a huge Cleveland Guardians. I have to say Guardians now. Cleveland Guardians fan. Back then they were known as something else. And that's like the Chicago White Sox like arch rival. So this brother and I, we'd always go back and forth, and the White Sox won the championship, and it was in the Chicago Sun-Times newspaper. Maybe like 4 weeks had already.
Oh my god!
Damn, we might have to save the story.
DK,
You breaking my beat? Come on, DK.
He's got a good beat though.
DK
DK knows what's up.
He does.
I appreciate. DK just wants. He's like, he's late.
Yeah,
you gotta go to bed.
It's late, man. Yeah,
get some sleep.
We'll definitely tell this story about my Chicago White Sox balls next.
I want to hear about your balls next week.
Yes, and my broken bones.
Your broken bones and balls.
Baseball.
Like I'll ask you one question that go back to the collectibles, and then I'll answer it, and then that'll be I think the question I want to ask for everybody watching.
Okay.
What's the one thing you always wanted to collect? It could be one singular item that is like your white whale. You either like it's too expensive and you're just like, oh, I really want it, but like I don't want to break the bank, or is it something that is really hard to find but you've just always wanted?
Before I die, the one thing that I want to
you gotta go dark right at the end. Before I die?
Yeah, because you never know. Look, before I die, before the dust settles, the one thing that I do want to collect is a first generation Mustang. Whether that's 1965 to 69, I want a first generation Mustang.
Okay.
And my full collection, I would want one of every generation, but I'll settle for first gen Mustang and cruise the PCH.
I like that.
What about you?
That was I wasn't even thinking. You went big.
Oh yeah.
You went real big. I'm gonna go very simple. So as you can see, I like these Jurassic toys. Right there, behind you, there's that red T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a recreation of a T-Rex that Kenner made back in 1993 for the first movie. Mm-hmm. I never owned the original. They dub it. They call it the Red Rex. Mm-hmm. It's pretty pricey to just like buy it off of eBay in box, but I've always wanted to own one of the original ones, like how it was originally. It's funny because the figure was too long for the box, so the tail is like bent.
Oh. And
it looks all like it's kind of like a quirk.
Yeah.
In fact, there's like in the new one there's a wire in the tail so that you can kind of recreate the bent.
Oh,
it's like a little Easter egg for fans.
Oh.
Okay. But I've always wanted to own one. I never did, and as a kid I'd always put it like on
your wish list.
On my wish list from Santa. Yeah, look, trust me, I had great Christmases growing up, but it was like an impossible item to find.
Santa still owes me a lot of man. We gotta find that. Ever since I got like 14, that never showed up. What happened to him?
You have to leave milk and cookies, not tequila and crackers.
Oh, get your ass home. Oh man.
You know what I'm excited for? The ATTICC Christmas special. Just wait. The holiday special.
We're gonna go on a spree to find this guy. You're gonna get your Red Rex, and I'm gonna get my Red Mustang. We're gonna make Santa Claus pay. All right, brother.